Hello everyone, you're welcome to today's class. So in this class, we'll be looking at another topic, and that is compound measure. As you can see from the board here, compound measures. So under it, we'll be looking at the following. We look at meaning of compound measures. We look at rates, speed, and density. So we'll see if it's to be possible for us to cover everything in this video. But if not, so we have to produce another video for it. So when we talk about compound measures is often refers to as rates. Most of the time, they often refers to it as rates. Is a compound measures are measures of combination of two or more units. So when you have different units that you want to combine together and want to measure their relationship, that is when we refer to as compound measures. And such as if we have naira and kilogram, right? Then distance, looking at kilogram per liter, right? They also have another one. We can have kilogram per hour, or kilometer per hour. Can have kilometer per hour. So what that means is that you can see that we have two units here. So we are comparing kilometer and liters. We're comparing naira and kilogram. We are merging kilogram and liters, right? Kilometers and meters. We can also have kilometers and meters and so on and so forth. So that's what we refer to as compound measures. So under this topic, we'll be looking at that is the meaning of compound measures. That is a measure that combines two or more units together. Find out the relation between the two of them. So under that, we'll be looking at rates. So which is compound measures also referring to as rates. Sometimes when you hear compound measures, they always refer to as rates of something. So for example, you have let's say kilometers, 50 kilometers per liter. 50 kilometers per liter. What does this mean? So the word per here, this line means per. So if you want to write this statement, you write that 50 kilometer per liter, right? So the per we have there means for every for every for every or we can have it for each for each. So either of the two is the same thing. So which means here we are saying that for every liter, for every 1 liter, that when you use 1 liter use 1 liter to cover 50 kilometers. That's what it is. So 50 kilometers per, that is, you are going to move 50 kilometers with 1 liter. That's what it means. This one, if it is kilometer naira per kilogram, for example, it could be 50 naira per kilogram. That is, for 1 kilogram it costs 50 naira. 1 kilogram of rice is 50 naira. 1 kilogram of beans is 50, and that's what it means. Per means for every 1 liter you spend what? 50 kilometers. For every 50 naira you spend 1 kilogram. I believe this is very clear to you. So because we're making use of this per in this class, so let's now look into it in details now. Okay, this is just short notes on compound measures. So as I've explained earlier on, that a compound measure is a type of measures that involves two or more units, such as kilometer per hour, naira per kilogram, kilometer per liters, and so on and so forth. Then it is often described as what? Rate. So when we're talking about compound measures, we are also referring to what? Rates. So that will lead us to what rate is. So a rate is used to compare quantities of different kinds, just like we are comparing naira and kilogram. As you can see here, examples are naira per kilogram, kilogram per liters. We are comparing naira and kilogram of something. So that is how much will you spend per kilogram of this, per kilogram of grain, and so on and so forth. So that's what rate is also talking about. Rate is talking about what is the unit per something. Then So the word per here, as I've explained earlier on, means for every. So this one, interpretation of this one means that for every kilogram, how much is spent? Naira. For every kilogram, what do you pay per naira? Then for every liter, how many kilograms will be covered? That is, how many kilometers, how many liter you. But when you spend 1 liter of petrol, that 1 liter will cover how many kilometers? That's what this one is talking about. So we're now going to look at examples. I have these 3 examples we're going to look at on that rate. You will see that they are very cheap questions. So a worker charges 35,000 naira for 7 days work. So what rate does he charge per day? So if you charge 35,000 naira for 7 days, so which means per 1 day, how much did you charge? That's what is meant by. They use the word per day. So what rate does he charge per day? So let's now look at solution of it. So how to calculate it. When solving that, so we have, that means, so 7 days, the worker charges 35,000 naira. So for 1 day now, so which means we're going to divide it by 7. That is 35,000 naira divided by what? 7 days. So that means 7 here and 7 here what? 5. So that means going to be what? 5,000 naira per day. You can see 5,000 naira per day. The naira is still there. The day we go with it. So 5,000 naira per what? Day. So per 1 day, the worker charges what? 5,000. So you are going to write this way. That's number 1. The worker charges 5,000 naira per day. That's it. That's how to solve this. This is very straightforward. Because this is rate. That is, what is the rate for a day? What is the rate for it? That's what this one is asking. Then let's look at number 2. Number 2 is a motorcycle used 25 liters of petrol to travel 225 kilometers. So what is the petrol consumption in kilometer per liter? That is, per 1 kilometer, per 1 liter, how many kilometers will be covered by using 1 liter of petrol? So which means we're going to do the same thing. So for 25 liters now, for 225 kilometers, right? So the motorcycle use 25 liters of of petrol. Now, how much will be the charge? Will be the kilometer covered per liter. So for 1 liter now, 1 liter of petrol will then be we cover 225 divided by 25. Exactly. So 5 here, 5 here, 4, remainder remainder 25, 5 can still go 1, 5 here 9. So which means that it is 9 kilometers will be covered by using 1 liter. That means the question asks that what is the petrol consumption in kilometer per liter? In kilometer per liter, that means petrol consumption is 9 kilometer per liter. I hope this is very clear. Good. So the last part here under rate before we look at speed. So we'll move to speed. The last question we have here, we have the cost of transportation increases from 500 naira to 700 naira. What is the percentage rate of increase? Percentage rate of increase. Now the first thing is that this is, we are under proportion, we did under ratio, we did increase. increase and decrease by a particular ratio, right? Now if you look at this now, this one is increasing from 500 naira to 700 and so, which means it increased by how much? So that means we have to find the increase. So firstly, initial cost is 500, right? So present cost is what? 700. So increase now will be what? 200 naira, right? So percentage increase now, the rate percentage increase. But that's what we ask. Percentage, what is the percentage rate of increase? Percentage rate of increase will be 200 naira divided by what? The initial, which is what? 500, and multiply by what? 100. So this 0 cancels 0. 5 here 1, 5 here what? 20. So 20 times 2, that is what? 40 what? Percent. This means that the cost of transaction increased by what? 40%. Now, if we should multiply 40% of 500 must give us this 200 naira increase. So 0 cancels 0. So 40 times 5 is what? 200, which is the same thing as what? The increase. Hope that is clear. So that is that on rates. Because this is something that we have done before. They are just using name. They are just giving us name so that okay, this is what this means. Exactly now. So we move to speed now. So the next one, speed now. Speed. So let's look at speed. Speed is defined as the distance traveled in a unit of time. That is, it is the rate of distance covered over time. So when we talk about speed of an object, we are looking at how long does that object, or how long will that object covered in a given time frame. You understand? For example, the speed of a kite could be 25 kilometers per hour, which means, don't forget the word per there, 25 kilometers per hour, which means per 1 hour, within 1 hour, the car will cover a distance of 25 kilometers. That is what we refer to as what? Speed. So we are trying, you can see, that is the reason why this speed is under compound measure, because we're trying to compare two or more quantities here. We're trying to compare the distance and the what? Time. How much, in a given time frame, how much distance will a particular object covered? Right, that is what speed is talking about here. That is why I said here that it measures how fast an object is moving. How far is the object moving? Then it indicates how much distance an object travels in a specific amount of what? Time. That is what speed is all about. And speed is measured using you can see that we're talking about here distance and what? Time. So which means you are comparing distance and time. Because speed is also the same thing with rate. You understand? But when we are talking about distance and time, we refer to what? Speed. You know, when we're talking about rate there, we made mention of distance and time. You understand? So, but here specifically it is what? Speed. When we are considering distance and what? Time. So that means that speed is average speed of anything. Speed is what? Distance divided by what? Time. Distance divided by time. Now, which means that if you are looking for speed of any object, you must know half the distance covered and time what? Within how many time. Is that clear? So that is what refers to as. That's the formula for calculating speed. But in the situation whereby we can find so many things with this, we can either find the distance or find what? The time. Let's see how this goes. So that's why I'll put this one here. Let's look at this triangle. So I have this here. I have distance here. Are you with me? Then I will have speed multiplied by what? Time. Now, if we are looking for speed, we want to find speed, just cover the aspect you are looking for. Use your hand to cover it. So we are looking for speed. What do we have left here? distance divided by time, which is what is this one, right? But if we are looking for distance, let's cover the distance here. What do we have left here? That is speed multiplied by time will give us what? Distance. That means distance is equal to speed multiplied by what? Time. Why if it is time, it's going to be distance divided by what? Speed. So time is what? Distance divided by what? Speed. So if we use change of subject or formula here, you see arrive at the same thing. So if you want to find distance here, when you cross multiply, this one will come in distance, that's speed multiplied by time will give us distance. Distance, speed times time. But if we are looking for times, that is this one will come here, right? The speed will divide distance. That distance divided by speed. You can see, so which is the same thing. So this one is just like a shortcut method for you to recall the formula if any one of these three variables are being asked in exam. So which we're still going to look at. So the next stage is now we're going to look at examples on speed and see how far we can go on it, right? Right, we have these two examples here. The first one is a man runs 200 meters in 25 seconds. So find the speed of the man A in meter per seconds, then in kilometer per hour. So then the second one is a car travels 180 kilometers at 40 kilometers per hour. Find the time taken. So we want to find the time taken by the car. So let's start with the first one. Solutions here. Number one. So a man runs 200 meters. That is the distance here. So distance here. So distance is 200 meters. Then 25 seconds. That's time. Time taken. So which is what? 25 seconds. So find the speed. So speed is what we are looking for. Speed. So it's what we are looking for. So that means what is formula for speed? Speed is distance divided by what? By time. So what is the distance here? 200 meters divided by what? 25. So 25 here 1, 25 here in 200. 25 in 100 is 4. So 25 in 200 is what? 8. So that is what? So 8 meters per second. So which means the man will cover 8 meters in 1 second. That's what it means. The man will cover 8 meters in 1 second. That is what this means. So that is A. That is question A here. The B asks us to find it in kilometer per second. Now, what you're going to ask yourself is you do in two ways. The first one is that we convert these meters to kilometers. Then we convert seconds to what? To hours. Right. So how many meters make 1 kilometer? So it is 1,000 meters will give us 1 kilometer, right? So which means that these 200 meters will be what? 200 divided by what? 1,000 kilometers. So that will give us 0 cancel 0. That is 0 0.2. That is 0.2 kilometers. Right. Then we move to the hour, 25 seconds. So how many seconds make 1 hour? So firstly, how many seconds make 1 minute? So 60 seconds equals to 1 minute. And 1 minute is equal to 60 minutes equal to 1 hour. That would be 60 multiplied by 60 will give us what? 1 hour. 1 hour. So that means 3 times this, that gives 3,600 seconds. So that means that the time t will then be, since it is 25 seconds, so 25 seconds to hour now will be what? 25 divided by 3600. We can reduce this to its lowest term. 5 here 5, 5 here, this will give us 7, which is 35, carry 1, that is a 2, then 0. We can as well 5 here 1, 5 here 1, remainder 2 in 20, that is 4, remainder 2 in 20, 4. 1 divided by 4. So the next state is now the speed. The speed will then be given as the distance. So distance divided by what? The time. So what is the distance calculated here? 0.2, which is same thing as 2/10, divided by this division line here, divided by the time, which is 1/144. So we can reduce this one. This will be what? 1/5 times 144/1. So that's why 144 divided by what? 5. So this will give us, so 144 divided by 5. 144 divided by 5 gives us 28.8. It's not 28.8 kilometers per hour. So which means the man who spends 8 meters per second will spend 28.8 kilometers per 1 hour. I hope this is very clear to you. So that is how to do that. Then we move at the second example. A car travels 180 kilometers at 40 kilometers per hour. Find the time taken. You can see what they're asking us to do here is to find the time that will take the man to travel 180 kilometers with a speed of what? 40 kilometers per hour. So which means if you are driving a car, you want to know the time that will take you. If you can maintain a speed, a particular speed from the beginning to the end of the journey, you should be able to know what? The time that will take you to get to your destination. So now with this one, so a car travels 180 kilometers and the car moves at 40 kilometers per hour. You can check the speedometer of your car. So the car moves at 40 kilometers per hour. So how much time do you take to cover this distance? So in that case, don't forget what I told you. This means we are looking for what? Time. And don't forget this. That drew it earlier on. We have the distance here. We have S times T. Right. So it is time we are looking for now. So that means we're going to divide distance by what? Speed. So that means the time, number 2, time taken. Time taken here will then be what? Distance. Distance divided by what? Speed. So what is this distance covered? 180 kilometers. Right? Divided by speed. The speed, 180 kilometers. The speed here is what? 40 kilometers per hour. 40 kilometers per hour. Kilometer cancel kilometer, right? 0 cancel 0. 4 here 1. So let's say you use 2. 4 here 2. 4 here what? 2 here what? 9. That means we have 9/2 hours. So that means 4.5 what? Hours. So the man will spend, the car will spend 4.5 hours when running at this speed to cover 180 kilometers. So that is that on speed. So I want to stop here because of time. So in the next video, I'll try to look at when we have different destinations, right? We have different destinations, how to calculate average speed. So we want to look at that. Then move to density. So that's what we're going to look at in the next video. So if you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and make sure you turn on your notification bell. So anytime I release a video of this kind, you'll be able to get the notification of it on time. And if you find this video useful and helpful, kindly give us a thumb up and then share the video with your family and friends. So We meet in our next video. Bye for now.